on Sunday, a group of Republicans and Democrat senators came together and announced they've come to a tentative agreement on a bill that would match some new minor gun restrictions with major investments in mental health and school security. The whole thing isn't like typed out yet, but I can give you the overview. The details are still being translated, but here's what they're reporting. So the legislation reportedly provides increased resources for mental health and school safety, incentivizes states to enact red flag laws, which we've talked about. Those allow law enforcement or family members to petition the court to basically remove firearms from someone's possession who's being dangerous to themselves or others. The legislation also requires expanded criminal and mental background checks, mental health background checks for buyers under the age of 21. It also closes the boyfriend loophole. Now, this is not something I'd have heard of, so I'm going to tell you what it is.
DoorDash did a whole series of that.
Yeah. The loophole apparently is that right now, if you commit a serious crime of domestic abuse against your wife, you can't get a gun. But if you do it against your girlfriend, you can because you're not married. So they're closing that gap. This new legislation will essentially include boyfriends or anyone who shares a child with the person they've harmed. So they're not doing direct like raising the age of buying certain firearms or stuff, but it feels right now like they're doing almost everything else.
Well, I'm sure it'll do nothing, but I'm glad we're doing it anyway, I think would be my
well
sentiment. And
but even the red flag laws, you don't think will do anything?
Yeah, I mean, look, at some point, whatever we're talking about, we just have to do some fucking parenting. People are going to have to parent. We're going to have to figure this one out, because as long as we have horrible parents. There's an inner city version of this. There's a sort of rural shoot up the school version of this. As long as we need dads to chainsaw surfboards
That's right.
in half to send messages to young sons to prevent them. I mean, look at Johnny, never drag raced again.
You're a funny shit.
He got the message loud and clear. He went right into accounting,
That's
and
right.
he's been working for the Sears Company ever
You
since.
learned a valuable lesson that day.
That's right. We need dads. We need parenting. That'll be the ultimate, either in the city or, in the rural, whatever the other version of this is. But it's not going to hurt.
Yeah, and we talk about optics and stuff. No, it's just optics. But I think in this case, like after this many years, like reaching across the aisle and saying, okay, let's kind of get into this. It looks really good, and I think it will make people feel better.
It'll make people feel better. What people don't really understand is, like, whenever they go, like, assault rifles, rifles barely kill anybody. Like, it is very short,
You
the
tell
number
that
of
to the
people
deer.
that kill. Yeah, humans, it's all handguns. There's more people killed with fists than rifles there, and we get all caught up on rifles, so a lot of it is sort of symbolic, but I'm not going to argue against it.
No. We'll see what happens.
John, thoughts on gun control? And we're recording this, so go ahead.
What?
You must have been packing heat when you were traveling alone in your trailer, going from lonely town to lonely town, doing a quarter mile.
My brother Louis is a gun freak, and most of my people are. They love them. I always had a fear of guns. My dad hunted and stuff when we were kids, and deer up on the front of his Jeep, But
Your
I
dad
don't,
sounds like a badass.
Yeah, get him.
no, he was.
You're back
Yeah.
with his chainsaw. All right, sorry. Go ahead, Gina.
I'm sorry. And now I have to know your dad's name.
Well, he had a bunch of them.
Like what?
He had aliases.
That's a bootlegger. That's a moonshiner right
I
there.
walk into Felipe's downtown, Olvera Street, those places. I went into Felipe's one night with my mom, and there was a woman there, and she goes, "Well, how is Willie?" And my mom goes, I said, "You know my dad?" Well, my dad used to box, and when he came out here, and Felipe's downtown by the railroad stations where everybody went for those great. I'm not pitching them. They don't sponsor me.
The French
dip.
But in the middle of it, where was I going? I'm so
The
excited.
aliases.
This is freaking me out.
Your mom found
Do we
out.
get pictures with you?
Of course.
Yeah,
With all of you?
Yeah, of course.
Your
Okay.
mom found out
Your
that your
dad's
dad
names.
had some other names.
No, that just the fact that years ago, my mom went in there with my dad, and her and the girl got into a deal. And years later, I'm in there as a kid, I don't even know how I got on that.
I love
His
it.
name.
So you're
His
saying the
name.
French
Yeah.
dip
What?
company
Your
doesn't
dad's name.
sponsor
My dad's name
dragsters?
is Bill, or my middle name is Harold, or Willie. He had a lot of different names.
Willie Force works. Billy Force. I love that.
Harold Force.
That's right. Not as strong.
Not strong.
Yeah.
So we're done with the Amber Heard Johnny Depp situation, or are we?
Uh-oh.
Because Amber doesn't agree with the jury's verdict, but she gets it. She understands how they got to that decision. She spoke with Savannah Guthrie on the Today Show.
Can I say this
Yeah.
quickly? Because I was watching TMZ, and it's like, oh, she says she doesn't have money, but here she is getting off a private plane. I've flown privately a ton. It's never been one of my planes. I've never spent money on it. I don't have enough money to fly privately, but you can catch. There are rich guys who
I've
will.
flown privately. I got no money.
They'll go, you can take if you're going from wherever to wherever, I got a plane that's going from wherever. So this whole thing of like, look at her, she's flying privately. It's like, nah, she's probably she's probably deadheading on somebody else's plane.
Elon may have been
Right.
going
Yeah,
in some
maybe Elon
direction.
sent the
Yeah.
plane
So she was on the Today Show saying this.
John,
was,
you ever drive one of those jet cars, one of those rocket cars?
No, they scare me too, just like
Yeah.
motorcycles and all that stuff. But yeah, hey, you want to hear something? Oh, I'm in the middle of your news.
No,
I'm sorry.
please. Oh,
Well, I'll tell you something. I'll never forget when my daughter met Ray Hall and they're going out. I remember I always used to be a joke like, do you own a jet? You're a big name race car. No, if I wanted a jet, I'd just own another race car is what I do. That's why I have 4 teams, right? I love
Right.
my race cars. But I remember taxiing out on the runway. I always go, I'm America West, seat 34 in the back. I don't even fly first class. I'm too cheap. But in the middle of it, here comes Ray Hall, and there's my daughter, Courtney. Ray Hall, Bobby Ray Hall, they all got private jets, and they're going by me, and they're waving
Waving
at
through
me
the window.
out the window, and I'm sitting around thinking, are you shitting me? Look at this. You know,
Yeah, Graham Ray Hall's again legendary.
But I
Indy.
love him.
And everything
I love
else. I mean, Ray Hall's he won the 24 hours of Daytona in a car I have. Ray Hall.
Oh,
was
he
driving.
did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. He won the Indy 500 too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I told everybody I was there, but I was home watching it on TV, but I still saw it.
There's 400,000 people there. No one's going to know if you weren't there.
I stood there one day and I said, yeah, I was with Bobby when he won the Indy 500. He said, not only you were not with me, you were not even there. Threw me under the bus. I'm sorry, honey.
Oh, please. I mean, trust me, I don't care about this either.
Amber Heard.
Yeah, so she's all pissed at Johnny, but not at the jury. Here's a clip. Let's let her explain.
I don't find her believable now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the funny
true.
thing. Savannah twice actually said they don't believe you. They think you're lying, and both of her answers were, "Well, he's so charismatic. Of course they believe him." No, that's not what
As
I
though
said.
she's
They
not
don't
an
believe
actress.
you.
Right.
You ever heard of Amber Heard, John Force?
Well, what really upsets me is Pirates of the Caribbean, like that's all time, with Depp.
great
And if
movie.
we don't get that back, it's all her fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my grandkids absolutely love it.
Well,
Yeah.
like I've said many times, between Jada Pinkett Smith and Amber Heard, Magic Mike XXL is ruined for me. My favorite movie.
When John finds
Oh,
out.
he's going to be bemused.
Crestfallen.
That's right.
And bemused. All the drag racing terms. But what happens?
Let's talk about NASA. They are putting together a team of scientists specifically to study UFOs. We're done ignoring this. This is now it matters.
I see it all the time on TV now.
Yeah, this is a big step for the space agency. They don't take this commitment lightly. They realize that their reputation might be at risk, considering, some people think it's wacky, but it's not. We have all this footage now and nobody explains it. Clearly, there have been some observations of mysterious objects in the sky, looking into them. They're looking into them now.
And
We're not going to pretend like it's not happening anymore.
Believing in aliens is sort of like the new gay. Like you couldn't come out of the closet in the 50s, the 60s. Your career would be over.
Right.
And then you couldn't say you believed in aliens or UFOs or any of that stuff
You're a
until
wackadoo.
recently
Get
you
your
were a
tinfoil
nut
hat.
job.
Yeah.
You're going to lose your job.
Yeah.
Now people are starting to come out of the closet in the UFO department, and they have more footage, and we're just not interested, which is so uncanny to me. John, you're old enough to remember nonstop UFO talk all through the 70s, and there were TV shows and UFO cafes, and and what's going on in Area 51, and everyone is obsessed with UFOs. And then finally there's UFOs, And it's like when Lance Bass came out as gay.
No.
Like,
Well,
there
we're
you go.
we're obsessed with him being gay, and then he went, I'm gay, and we're like, oh, all right, well, we're done.
Just remember one thing with Depp and the lady
Oh, yeah,
Heard.
Amber.
Everybody walks somebody else's shoes, and you get what you get. And I don't get into all of that, but I wasn't mean and she was wrong. I only said I loved the show.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
Pirates
get
of the
it.
Caribbean.
but I can remember stories. I've heard stories in racing, people out on the road, trucking across the desert
sure.
out there. You know, Area 52 and all that.
Is it 51 or 52?
51.
Maybe there's a new
sorry.
one.
Yeah.
51. I hit my head 4 or 5 times. You didn't show all the crashes. But what I'm saying is who really knows?
And they're going to find out.
The only thing to me is I'm a God-fearing individual. I may not sound like it, but I am, and I don't want them to screw that up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
That's why
I've been working on the Bible for 73 years, and I'm getting pretty close to the middle. Okay.
That's what we say as a kid. Like, all you want is like, please let there be aliens. Please come visit us. Let's shake things up. Now, as an adult, I'm like, I want to die before the alien invasion. I don't want to be any part of that. I don't want to have to tell my grandchildren, like, Grandma, do you remember before the aliens enslaved us? Like, I just want to live my life peacefully.
I have a deeper wish and fantasy, which is now with all the division and insanity, I would like the alien to like come down and go, we've been studying you guys for like 4 years and globally,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And so here's what we've come up with, because we've just been observing from afar. And so here's what we need. Putin, bad. We got to get you out of Ukraine. Nuclear energy, good. We got to build more of those. California needs a desalination plant. We need to fix this and do that. This weird notion of like we want school choice. That'll help the kids. Like
they're going to get into school choice.
Gun control will work.
very
And
granular.
in these instances, like we've just been stepping back, studying, watching,
And here's the
watching
solution to all your
stuff.
problems.
Bananas aren't that good for you. They're going to make you fat. Stop eating all the smoothies. And we just get down and really just start. And then we'd have to listen to them because they were essentially just these referees that were floating around and they were umpires just calling
see.
like balls and strikes, and they would settle everything for us, and then we could get back to it.
That I like.
Because now we can't settle anything, because if you go, I'm for this, they go, oh, that's your side is for this, but our side is against
The
that.
lobby is against it.
How would you ever? It's like calling balls and strikes where the manager from each team has to make an argument on whether it was a ball or strike. We need the third party, the umpire, who's not been corrupted, who's been floating above. He or she or it has been watching us, going, all right, we got a couple of moves, like a secret shopper.
Oh, yeah, mystery shopper.
I don't work for this Wendy's in Arleta, and I don't shop here, but I have been in a few times, and I've observed a few
I'm taking
things.
some notes.
Yeah, that's good. Very good. I'm glad you compared coming out as alien observant to being gay, because
Yes.
this is something I wanted to get into. We talked about Rebel Wilson, the actress. She lost all this weight and she's looking good, feeling good, and decided to randomly say, I thought I was looking for my Disney prince. Turns out I was looking for my Disney princess. Here's this lovely lady. We're together. Okay, let's move on.
I heard about this.
Yeah, this wasn't her choice to have that. I don't know if you saw this on TMZ already.
She wanted to be outed.
No,
huh?
she did not. This was actually kind of a threat, quote unquote, small t threat from an Australian tabloid that said, we have, we've seen these pictures of you. We have enough people corroborating the stories. My deadline is Saturday at 1 p.m. The writer emailed her and said, I have enough to publish this, but would you like to comment on it? You want to weigh in? And she didn't. Instead, she took to her own Instagram and introduced everyone to her girlfriend. The writer...
Then the guy wrote back and said, look, I was just kidding. I didn't think you were a lesbian.
Wow, let's whole show the dark.
This
I
is
do that to
spam. I do this to
everybody.
everyone.
I do that to everybody. But
I sent it to Mel Gibson, who
all
else
right,
is in
she
Australia.
came out.
So the reporter was going to out her, essentially, happens to be gay himself. He wrote a column apologizing for what seemed to be threatening to out her, vowed they're going to do things differently at their newspaper.
Imagine doing this for a living. Like, this is your
So you get
right
paid.
columns outing people, you know? I talk, you know, like last time I talked to attorney Mark Garagos, he owns restaurants. So he gets nuisance lawsuits about the guys who come in and say the grab bar in the bathroom was off the wall.
It's not up to ADA standards.
Yeah, we want to be
Right.
paid, and it gets letters from their lawyer. And I just go, as an attorney, knowing that you have colleagues that are in the field of it, but this is all they do all day. Does that make you sick? And he's like, I don't fucking get it. Like, it's insane that you would sit around and do this. You take your law degree and steer it this direction. And if you're a journalist or a columnist or something, this is how you ply your trade. This is what you do. You threaten actresses. I don't know how everyone lives with themselves.
Yeah.
Is what I'm asking.
Oh, I got a question.
Go.
Are we still in the you're not old enough to have grandkids, are you?
No, not yet.
Well, I thought you said you love your grandkids.
Oh, no. I have a 6-year-old at home, a stepson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I was right about that. But what I'm saying is, what was I saying? I'm totally lost here in this interview. I don't know if we're supposed to be in it.
Yes, you
Yeah, you're in it.
John,
This is a big
but
conversation.
I ain't going to talk about some of this stuff.
You don't have to. You can sit back. You can say anything you want
Oh,
or
yeah.
nothing you want.
Yeah, my attorney right here in L.A., Michael Sherman, said to me once, I heard your 1-hour show you did on religion, politics, and something else. And he said, they'll ruin you if you release that. So I never did. It's buried in the archives. Brittany, jump in here. You got any opinions on any of this? Because I'm scared to death to touch it.
Well, let's talk about something else that actually, as two professional drivers, I mean, this makes us sick, but we're not professionals.
I
Yeah.
have to intervene because
Please.
I have to get the stitches out of my hand.
Oh, right.
Today I had a little hand surgery, which is, and unfortunately, I'm supposed to be in Pasadena at 3:15.
Good luck to
as
you.
we do this to get this.
You're going
out
to
of
need
me.
a force to drive you there.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
that's
I was going to wrap it about
Okay.
8 or 10 minutes early so I could jump in my car, and also I want to take a picture and get your die-cast model and all that good stuff because
All right.
I love cars too. So let's
Wrap
bring
it
home.
up. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
You're a funny shit.
Gina Grad.
That was the news with Gina Grad.
By the way, there's some upcoming NHRA events coming up. Thunder Valley Nationals. That's June 17th. Oh, that's coming up. Bristol, Tennessee, and Summit Racing Equipment NHRA Nationals coming up June 23rd in Norwalk, Ohio. Website, johnforceracing.com. I hope I can come by your big museum out there in Yorba Linda or wherever the hell you
Got
are.
one in Yorba Linda and got one in Indy at our shops in Indy, too. So.
Oh, you're building cars down in Indy.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Because that's where all the fabricators and
Yeah.
all the guys are and all the guys building all the huge... I think Ray Hall just built... Is Ray Hall just building like
build a mansion.
100,000 square foot shit? They all have huge shops. It's all in Indy. None of it's
and
in
by
California.
the way, Bobby Ray Hall, he is, and I love his son, Graham, but I really love Bobby, just so respectful, just a real guy.
Gentleman.
Yes.
This is one of the nicest guys
Yes.
you'll ever want to
Yes.
meet. All right. So, John, Brittany, thanks for coming out and coaching us up. Although evidently I knew more than I thought about the sports you inhabit. Denver, Colorado, me on June 23rd, and then also 24th, 25th, I'll be at the Comedy Works South over there. Just go to AdamCarolla.com and check out where you can get all the tickets. Until next time, Adam Carolla, John Force, and Brittany Force, and Gina Grad, and Bald Ryan saying mahalo.
Can y'all explain something to me? What is punk rock compared to alternative? What was the
How
difference?
dare you?
Well, I don't know. Like I knew. Like I said, Stone Temple Pilots,
Right. Nirvana, Pearl Jam.
So
Pearl Jam.
let me ask you, Jay-Z, Smokey Robinson, same guy, or is it a different kind of a genre of type of black?
It's a fair
music?
question.